Shit, I'm talking to you. I don't necessarily need my glasses.
What's happening? Welcome to the Carol and Coach Show. Well, my host today, co-host, let me get that correct. It's my man, Keep It P, Mr. G himself. Y'all say what up to him.
All right, y'all.
Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit before I get rolling there?
Oh, man, I'm Quincy Gidry, man. Everybody call me Mr. G or Mr. Quick, whichever one makes you feel better, you know what I mean? Keep It P, you know what I mean? That's the moniker, but professional is the brand. I'm going to keep it like that.
Y'all know how the show goes. We kind of jump in and jump around, so we don't kind of stick to one topic because we like to touch on a lot of different things. But one of the questions that I posed, man, to some mothers, I was saying, what if your kids say this to you? I said, was it worth Mom having sex with my dad when he was a deadbeat in the relationship?
Oh, wow.
I think a lot of mothers will have a problem answering that question because it's something that they probably was not thinking about. It could have been a night of this is a hot dude, one night stand, but not really thinking about how it would affect their life.
Right.
And if this man would be there for their kid, if he would be there for you. But if he was a deadbeat in a relationship, what make the woman think she's gonna change him? I'm not sure. I mean, what's your thoughts on it if you pose that question or it was posed to you?
You got to think, man, over time, you know what I mean, that will question their accountability. And no one wants to be held accountable. I mean, that's one of the hardest things to say, hey, it was my fault. You know what I mean? I ignored the red flags, you know what I mean? Because like the child knows, you know, he did show every sign of being a deadbeat father way before he became an actual father. You know what I mean? It may be he didn't show up on time for dates. You know, I mean, he wasn't actually establishing times or establishing the initiative to even come to a date. You know what I mean? Like that lady had to invite him or something of that nature. You know what I mean? So if he couldn't show up for you for a date, what makes you think he's gonna show up for your child as a father?
That's true. And I don't know why a lot of these women think that they can change these men. That behavior, especially when you get up in age, that behavior is kind of going to stick because they don't want change in their lives. And it sucks that the kids have to be affected by it. And then you have these mothers that's talking about these men to these kids, so they kind of helping that negative energy be brought into effect. I had a mom reach back out to me, and what she said to me was, her answer to this question was, she said, when they start respecting themselves and demanding respect from others. Well, how they gonna respect themselves when mama don't even respect?
True. But I mean, to the second point, what you were saying earlier, I mean, everyone likes a project, whether it's big or small. You know what I mean? I go all the way back to my childhood. I like building model cars. You know what I mean? Putting together puzzles, you know, fill in words, search words. I mean, it's just a mental challenge. And just once you finally get to a point to where you achieve things, you know what I mean, that makes you feel better with inside, you know what I mean? So if you can actually say that you changed a person, imagine the accolades you would feel for self.
And a lot of times I think respect can be learned in the home, whether it's a single parent home or dad is there or mom is there. Yeah. I think it can be learned because kids watch what you do.
Not what you say.
Not what you say. Y'all get that? He dropped the nugget down for you. Pick it up off the ground. Yeah. Mom saying demanding respect for themselves. Demanding respect from others. I'm not quite sure how to take that. When he didn't learn respect in the home, and he probably learned from the streets. That's a whole different respect from the streets than it is at home.
Absolutely.
So I'm not knocking what Mom said, but Mom, it's a difference. Yeah. Street respect is a whole lot different. It comes with some stipulations.
And there's definitely a rule with fear. You know what I mean? And if you didn't instill that fear in that child at a very young age, I mean, it's gonna be hard for him to respect you if he doesn't fear you. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be honest, I was more afraid of my mother than I was the police.
Shit.
You know, I told the police, hey man, look, I gotta go home with her, man. I gotta live with her. You know what I mean? So that's where the respect was established. You know what I mean? So when I went out into the public, it was just an extension of the respect that I gave my mother.
That is fair to say, because mom was kind of, she was kind of everything in the household. And that's not knocking dads by no means. But mama kind of puzzled everything together because she can do probably 30 things, I'm gonna say at one time.
Yeah.
Where dad, and I speak of myself, I probably do 2 of those things and forget to do the other 28. So had to go off to moms out there.
Absolutely.
But why do you think kids today are so lazy and don't want to work for nothing?
Well, I can only speak from my generation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my peers, we grew up saying, oh, I'm not gonna whoop my kids and I wanna give my kids everything I didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, they didn't earn a lot of things. They were given a lot of things. So they expect that same thing when they go out into the world. And the world doesn't work like that.
No. The world is cruel, the world is mean, they lie to you, they cheat on you. The world comes with a lot of negativity as well as positivity. But if I grow up in a household where I don't see the man getting up going to work every day, I think that's normal. And
True.
it feeds into my drive. So why you gonna fuss at me when I ain't never seen daddy go to work, or mom, I see you laying up all day. I see guys in and out the household. I'm not even seeing those guys get up and go to work because they chilling in the house playing video game while you in the kitchen cooking, and then next thing you know, they're in the room knocking down.
Absolutely.
I
I
mean-
mean, that also diminishes the respect for the mother as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because no man wants to see, no little boy wants to see his mother entertaining multiple individuals. I know even when I was a kid, I was overprotective of my mother. Don't look at my mom.
Don't look.
Don't talk to my mama. She don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? So once the kid establishes a relationship with the mother and sees that the mother is open to other things, then that child's image of life is malleable and it's changing. You know what I mean? Like you look at women, it's like they all like that.
We got to make sure we pouring into these kids the rightful way. Lead by example. That's how they will learn. It's just like a kid learning to walk. He watch you walk. That's like him learning to talk. He put together words by listening to you. That's how he put together sentences. He watches your mannerism. He watches everything about you, and it's what molds your kid.
I mean, shoot, to second on that point, you have to watch how you talk to your children because that becomes the language that they understand. You know, working with children myself, some of the kids, they don't respond to a, hey, sit down, hey, be quiet, hey, chill out, hey, relax. They respond more to a, hey, if you don't sit down, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? So, you just got to watch those types of things because that becomes very repetitive, and humans are creatures of nature. Creatures of habit, excuse me.
That's true. That's true. And that leads into this next thing about, I think kids today are followers and being led by a lot of these negative rappers. And when I say negative rappers, I mean a lot of the things we listening to on the radio is about catching bodies. It's about doing drugs. It's about sex. You hear nothing positive. So I feel like they're being led by this music, and they're giving them nothing to teach.
Well, I don't necessarily just completely agree because the music has always been the music. It was a little bit more subtle. You know what I mean? I remember a song when I was growing up. I actually didn't understand what they were saying until my adult years when it said, baby, no more grinding. I get so excited. Ooh, you know what I get. I try, but I can't fight it. Ooh, you dancing real close. You know, you're making it hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's the same premise, but it was artistic expression.
True.
Rather than bend that thing over, pop that, and
Yeah.
that came with Luke.
Yeah. And old Luke, y'all.
Yeah, Uncle Luke. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Salute to you, guy. I ain't gonna lie, you do your thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just, and not only that, the world has also changed. There was a lot more discretion. There was a lot more censorship. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't walk up and see a shirt saying "F you."
Right.
You know what I mean? Or you couldn't just necessarily see the middle finger on television,
Right.
or hear the word "B" on the radio, or "ass" on the radio.
Right.
You know what I mean? These things are becoming normal. You know what I mean? Not only that, I mean killing as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These things that you can see on regular Channel 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? R.I.P. to George Floyd.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how do you feel about mothers being more of a friend to these kids than they are a parent?
My mother was never my friend. My mother was never my friend. My grandmother was more so of my friend.
Right.
You know, she purchased anything that I'd like her to buy, you know, and my father was a shoulder for me to lean on when I was having, you know, social anxiety, problems within school. You know, that was a person that I could lean to and talk to. But my mother, she was more of a stickler on discipline, because I was with her 24/7. She told me, when you walk out these doors, you are a reflection of me.
That is true. It was a lot of good teaching back in those days, and a lot of structure that has left this earth, I believe, when grandmama left. There's no more Sunday dinners. I mean, at least I don't hear about it.
Well,
I don't see
you
it.
gotta think about it like this, man. I mean, Jay-Z said this in the 2000s. 30 is the new 20, so that reversed everyone an entire decade. So now you have grandmothers who are in their 40s and their 50s, acting like they're 20 years old, competing for the same men that their grandchildren are competing for.
That is true. I'm not gonna lie about that. And it's that is true.
Yeah, man.
That is true.
know?
Yeah, and that's tough. That's tough because you acting more like my friend, drinking with me and smoking with me. I mean, how can I respect you when you try to come at me with the iron fist?
Exactly.
It's impossible. I don't want to hear it.
You one of my peers.
Yeah. I'm gonna act out when you say something to me because I'm gonna feel some kind of way.
Exactly.
So that leads into this next question there on why are women driven by sexual looks and mad when they aren't taken seriously?
Well, they halfway understand the male's nature. I mean, halfway. And when I completely say halfway, I totally mean halfway. Because they know we drive off of aesthetics. You know what I mean? It's always been the low-cut shirts and the pencil skirts that are above the knee, you know what I mean? The high heel shoes. Always something to attract us as males, you know what I mean? But it's a lot of not wanting to accept accountability.
Absolutely.
Because what also comes with that is a lot of attention. You know what I mean? And now they're even more scantily clad.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, now ladies are just wearing sheer shirts, you know what I mean? And may wear pasties.
Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the may. You know, now those pencil skirts have turned into booty shorts.
Yeah.
These ain't nothing like the Dukes that Daisy wore.
No.
No.
Not at all.
We literally seeing cheeks.
Yeah, we see cheeks.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Daisy just had on some short shorts.
Right.
These here, they showing the cheek.
These
You know
cheeks.
what I mean? Got to shoot a crease and everything.
Yeah. And then you feel some kind of way when the man misread. Because the first thing he thinking is he want to clap the cheeks.
Yeah.
And the vibe that he's getting from it is you don't mind.
You're looking like you're on a Luke video.
Yeah. Yeah. But you want wifey benefits and you want me to treat you like that.
Nah, I mean, I I don't negate their wanting to be treated like a lady. You know what I mean? Like, I totally agree that every woman should be treated like a woman. But once you begin to present yourself as such, I will treat you as such.
That's true.
Now, I will always be a gentleman and respect you, but I'm still gonna treat you differently.
That's true. Absolutely. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?
I mean, just as these women, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want no broke guy, you don't want no dusty guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want a guy with dirty shoes. You don't want a guy with a wrinkle holey shirt and dirty shirt. I mean, it's six in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Absolutely.
It's just how you want to present it, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Is social media hindering kids from learning social skills?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, we have to think about the pandemic in a whole. You know what I mean? In a whole, because we actually weren't allowed to be socially active for about 3 years.
True.
For about 3 years.
True.
You know what I mean? I didn't lose my social skills because the type of work that I have,
Right.
I'm essential staff, I had to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But individuals that were in home, behind the computer or behind the phone or something like that, they didn't actually receive the social interaction. So a lot of the social cues
Right.
are not as acknowledged as they should have been.
Right.
So imagine the generation of children that didn't go to 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade when things are very important about social skills. Don't touch, like bad touch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You shouldn't speak this loud. Don't hit this person. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think the beginning is yet to come when it comes to that.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because you got a lot of kids who don't know how to interact with others. They don't know how to hold a conversation. I can remember back when we didn't have the cell phone use. You had to actually get out there and, as they would say back in the day, Mac on something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that pen and pad,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah.
let's see who can get the most numbers,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then not only that, shoot, the minutes was free after 9.
After 9.
And look, I had to be to bed by 10:30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I only had an hour and a half, you know, to do my Mac Daddy thing,
Yeah.
you know? You know, life has changed, you know what I'm saying? Everything is unlimited, you know what I'm saying? And when I say everything is unlimited, you have the television that is on 24 hours a day. You have these phones that are accessible 24 hours a day. You have all types of things on the television, whether that be pornographic, just smut entertainment. You know, all these things are readily accessible for these children, man, and it can be a mental overload.
That's true. And they can learn so much at an early age. Well, we didn't learn to later years. Because just speaking for myself, I was an athlete, so I really wasn't focused on getting out, you know, getting to the house, knocking something down. I was
I wasn't an athlete, so I can't say the same. You know, I can't say the same.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you
some
working
say I
out?
started late, some say I started early. But look here, like Marcus used to say, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. So before we close this segment out, tell us a little bit about what you have coming up with your brand and some things that you have going on here in the near future.
Currently, I'm working on a barber school for at-risk youth with Harris County Juvenile. We are in the 2nd stage, actually. The shop is already started. We're getting the plumbing and electricity and everything done, but I have been hosting classes with them so they can get the prelims as to how to actually pass the TDLR test, and that's the TDLR for licensing to be a licensed barber. I also have the clothing brand, the professional brand, what I told you earlier, Keep It P. And not only that, like I said, I'm a licensed barber, so I also do that as well. So man, I got my hands all over the place, but not to mention I have a degree in construction science and a master's in community development. So my ultimate dream is to actually start my own town. You know, give me something where around the area of like 9,000 acres, and just kind of, you know, go from there.
That's brilliant. So for the young guys and ladies, I want y'all to hear what he just said. He said a lot right there. As well as his side businesses, his hustle, he has a degree. Now, I'm not saying that everybody have to go to college and get a degree, because it's not for everybody. But if you want to pursue in business, I would recommend to go and get some sort of degree that can benefit you along that journey. And it can help you pave your way in life and make things a lot easier, especially giving you something to fall back on. Because having multiple businesses, you're gonna need income coming in. And by him working and having these different businesses, he's able to network, meet different people, and not be broke while doing it. That's the key thing there. To close out, what would be some words of wisdom that you would give to our youth that's watching this show right now?
I would also like to go to one of my favorite quotes that my dad used to tell me when I was a young man. A broke man is a powerless man. You know what I mean? He always instilled in me, keep at least a tools and fuse in your wallet. I mean, back in these days, you know, it was pay phones, you know what I mean, and you would pay bus fare. You could get a cab. So now, I mean, it's more of the digital era. So keep you some money on your Cash App. Keep you a few dollars in your checking or your savings account. You know what I'm saying? Something you could pull from just in case those emergencies happen. I mean, look what we just had. We had a devastation with Burrow. You know what I mean? You don't want to always have everything digital because the power may go out. You know what I mean? We just recently went through a freeze, and now we had Burrow, and now we have a whole list of hurricanes that are scheduled, but we're not sure when they're coming. So keep you some cash on hand for sure. See, that's that mattress money that grandma used to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That old Humvee.
Up in there.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's that extra wire.
They don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, it's been real. There will be more segments coming of this show. Make sure to stay tuned. He and I will be doing a lot of work here, as well as his own podcast, which we'll start pushing. And I'll make sure you guys have all of that information. Make sure his social media is down, and you can follow him on what social medias are you running?
I'm currently on Instagram. My personal is Mr. Quick to Get Fresh. And you can also find me on keepitp.com, spell it out D-O-T, keepitp.com, and that is also the website where you can purchase merch.
Make sure y'all go and support this brother. Hard working man, great guy, great businessman, and one day he'll be a great father. Ladies, y'all better hit him up. Holla.